Hello and welcome back to Outwit Me. Back in Humankind after a long enough break to completely forget how the game works. So I decided to do all the setup off camera. So everything gonna be a mystery about this world. No, I did not use the default settings. And no, I didn't put everything on random either. Maybe about half the things. So we do have an intent with this series. First of all, I created a new character to play. And what we're doing, I'm not actually sure how I can pull open like the trophies menu or anything here, but we're trying to unlock the Pacifist trophy. And in order to do that, the requirement is producing 0 military units other than scouts. Yeah, that... I don't want to say that's a thing. It's so millennial to say that to everything. Very uncreative. One thing that dramatically would have helped this is there's a mode you can click that makes the AI more peaceful. I did not click that. I don't know how to search trophies. I told you what it is. Who cares? I get to unlock a personality trait for my avatar if I complete the challenge. That's what I want to do. I don't know if the challenge is finish a game without creating a military unit or win a game. Those are very important distinctions, I would say. Let's hope it's not win, because this doesn't seem like a possible challenge unless you crank down the difficulty and put on the peaceful AI mode. So, place your bets now how far we actually get through the eras. The only thing I really got strategy-wise is that we should get as many units as possible in this stage, because I don't think that'll count as producing military units. I think we're safe upgrading into military units as we go through the stage. Like, scouts and tribe can promote. Yeah, I know. Should have actually checked the game logic, but... Well, if you're new to the channel, I'm impulsive in my strategy making. I'm not... if I pre-plan something, then I've spent enough time on it for it to become boring. You know what I mean? The only way I'm going to do it is just to do it. So, strategy. Units in Neolithic era from food. Alternative strategies. Defensible position for cities. Like, if I could get a city here, it could only be attacked from one side. Another strategy would be crank through the science so that our standard militia units are ahead of the curve. What else do we got that might increase survivability? I mean, there's the whole don't have anything worth taking. That's a strategy. Stay away from important resources. I don't like that strategy. There's the have alliances. Yeah, being undesirable to attack comes in low reward or high risk. So could do that, which would mean we do want the resources, so then we can give them away / trade them for defense. It's probably too soon to pick a strategy. Don't want to commit before we know what's up. Another thing would be to put myself on a corner of the map, a corner of a continent, and just be out of the way. You know, there's high risk of attack, low reward, and inconvenience. You know, the whole, you don't need to be faster than the bear, you just need to be less convenient to get to than your friend. Yeah. So really, I mean, that's the overall strategy. But the first question is do we go for the science or the food first? I think we need to scout out near that mountain to the right, because that could be a defensible position to set up. However, well, also, alternatively, going to the left would tell us if that's a coast or just a lake. Because we don't know our overall position in the continent right now. It's like food gets us units, gets us scouting. Science gets us... I'm not really sure what it gets us at this point, other than progress toward this bonus star. So I suppose that means we'll go for the thing that we know has value over the thing we don't know right now.
Next time, it might be better if you washed it first.
It would have been nice if we'd immediately gotten a unit, but oh well. I feel like we don't want to be over on the open plains if we're trying to play a defense game. Pretty bad idea. But now it feels like we're wasting a turn running back and forth if we go over there. Oh well. That's just too bad. So this is a normal length game of 300
Even
turns.
those who have disappeared may have done something very clever.
Yeah. I don't know what the average amount of time to spend in the Neolithic era is. We are going to scout this way, because this could be a defensible area. I just don't want to lose sight of that. Not that, that. Productivity versus food for the settlement location. I think food's going to be more important, because that'll help us with science and other things. Considering we're not going to be making military units, that'll put us ahead of the curve on production.
Yes.
So, we're not settling just yet, obviously, but alright, good. How do I... There we go. So you can explore that way, while you go this way. So this would be a defensible position, but it's all production focused here. I mean, being on the plains would be useful as far as that goes. Then, as I said, we're going to be defending ourselves with a set number of militia units. So, the more we can be surrounded, the worse off we are. This guy's just going to have to ignore the pickups, I feel like. Can we afford to ignore the pickups? I don't even know. Let's move this one first. Pacifism does not mean veganism. I do remember how to play the combat, oddly enough. Who goes first? I don't think we want him to be able to get on that high ground. We go first. We'd like to... Damn it. He's on the high ground. We did exactly what we didn't want to do. And we can't move again. I like how we attack the deer and then we're just like defending as if it wouldn't just run away. It's really, that deer isn't gonna chase you down. That's whatever. I'm not gonna complain about the realism of the hunting mechanic. Well, I am, but I'm gonna acknowledge it's absurd. Yeah, if we hadn't played defensively, we would have lost that. That initial mistake was pretty major. Alright, let's figure out what's around this mountain. There we go. See, so running away from the stuff that you see isn't necessarily the wrong move, because there could be stuff you don't see. This is an interesting location. Horses. We gotta see... Actually, we gotta figure out how to even get up there. I don't know that you can just go up like that. We'll find out next turn. What's this? Cloudless nights, fires, dimmed embers, people looking at the stars, all mesmerized and shit. Looking for shapes, as you do. Man, I've never been able to see shapes in the stars. You know, you gotta admire the creative mind that can do that. It's like, it actually surprises me because I'm like Mr. Improv. I can look at stuff and make jokes and all that. But I can't look at stuff and like see art. Huh. It's multiple types of, how would you call it? Impulse imagination? What's the word I'm looking for? Like ad-libbing? Based on circumstance, environment? I don't know. But we're getting distracted. The question is, well, yeah, what kind of shapes in the stars are we going for? Not violence. I mean, it'd be an interesting way to start a pacifist run, but... I forget what culture does in this game. I just know that the last game I played, we won through culture, so I'm inclined not to do that again. Let's get ourselves another unit. I mean, taking down the wildlife would be fine, but I don't know. The culture would give us an ability to form an outpost, right? Because this isn't culture per se. It's all in kind of influence. It's like internal and external. Maybe we do want to do that. No, we'll stick with our original plan of getting as many units in this stage as possible. I got an achievement. Oh, I guess my achievements weren't working for the last game, considering I just got an achievement for playing 10 turns. On turn 6. What? Okay. I have not done a trial game, so I don't know what that's about. But I like this mountain a lot. Why are there 3 units in here? Oh, yeah. I know the answer to that. Alright, we're gonna have to deal with that lair. But yeah, I think we hide in the mountains and play, like, pretend we're, like, in the Swiss Alps or something, you know? Neutrality and all that.
This way.
Oh. We're gonna have to deal with these lairs. How close do you have to be to the other unit to not be attacked and buffed on your own? That's close enough to bring in reinforcements, right? But yeah, I like multiple strategic resources. I like having some grassland. There's no irrigation, but we haven't seen anything. Okay, that's a lie. We have seen irrigation. That is a lake. When did I uncover these terrains? I feel like I didn't acknowledge that. So do remember to win this game, it's all about collecting stars, which means be good at a diverse subset of things. Sure, this guy can keep going up into the wastelands. And not antagonizing the wildlife for a bit. This looks like a cliff, but I think it's just because it's unexplored. Is there any reason we would want to settle over this way? One thing I will tell you is I added an extra AI on top of what's recommended for the map size. So, again, that works against the interests of a pacifist Let's Play, having land be a little scarcer than it otherwise would be. There's more to incentive to fight over things. But hey man, I'm not being strategic in the map creation. That's cheating. Making something interesting and then coming up with the goal. Does a lake actually benefit you in any way? I would imagine there's technologies that make lakes beneficial. But to begin with, the answer is no. That looks like a net negative. It's just a low yield terrain. Rivers are good. Rivers are always good. Is there anything else that has a 3 value to it? Just stock, you know? I don't think so. Some science over here. This actually is a good spot to start. I wouldn't mind having a city here. A little worried about high ground over here that can shoot at me, but... So this isn't the most defensible. But it's probably good enough. I mean, definitely good from anyone coming from that direction. You're going to skip your turn. Someone's already gone into the Ancient Era. That's... I say it's unfortunate. I don't know if it is. This lair is going to be a bit hard to take out with the terrain here, isn't it? Oh. Do we not actually have to raid it or anything? Well, now I feel dumb. I will be claiming this. And then we'll go see if there's anything better and hope we didn't make a mistake.
For our young.
I don't need both of you over there. Oh, setting up on the mountain would be so much cooler. But the production instead of the food. Oh yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the borders of the terrain. We're not going to be able to work those tiles. Not immediately. Oops. Do we want to go back a turn? Yeah. We'll be sympathetic to ourselves today. Forgot a lot of the game mechanics. Alright. I don't think we had moved to you. We're actually going to send you up there to loot that one. We'll play that different.
Earth gives us strength.
We want to scout this mountain.
Onwards.
So you're going to raid this one. Do we send him back for the science? Let's see what's on the mountain. What's this? Regular mountains on top of my mountains. Thought that would be a world wonder or something. That does give 3 though. Next to a bunch of dead terrain. Alright. Is there any way we can justify settling up here? Be the mountain city. Oh, this is all part of the same region. So we'd still get this resource. We could spread to the west where the horses are. Or the north where the rest of the mountains are. I feel like we do have options up here. And that's a very interesting aesthetic place to put a city, you know? But let's continue scouting around. Leave that deer alone. We should probably start looping back around. I think we're not doing like a mass migration here, you know? Like, I don't know where in the continent we are, but that's okay.
Executing your first ransack is not very friendly, but it's better to be the ransacker than the ransackee.
It's fine. We're the pacifists. We're the pacifists. Do, 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 do. There's a song that's something like that, right? I don't even know what I'm talking about. There, you can set up an outpost if I so choose. I know there's cultures that benefit from mountains. And that may be our vibe. Hide in the mountains. Could also hide down here. And then we get high ground advantage against us. Let's keep exploring before we make a call, yeah. Oh, hello. Hmm. Oh, I thought this was going to be about, hey, look, you just met someone. Maybe. Materials hidden away. Cycles of change. Makers or observers. One science per population is pretty strong. We don't need industry. We'll probably be the science mountain men. They're probably going to attack. And we can't move. That's not great. I could bring them over to defend, but then I'm not building the outpost. What are the size of this region? The horses are over there. There's no rush. The enemy's going to be from the east. I mean, you never assume, but the first and closest civilization would be to the east. I don't think there is a way up here from the east, so I think this is like the mountain pass where people would have to come into this area. Setting a city here won't help because region border. I'm just thinking of the immediate surrounding tiles for an outpost at this moment. Putting it up here will cut us off from some of those. So there is a disadvantage to going over here, if I'm not mistaken. However, it is more defensible. Sure. What are the merits of settling over here instead? Are there any? The defensible terrains aren't very exciting. In fact, these are dead. It's like, yeah, we got some dry grass and so on. But we don't know what connects over here. I would really like to pop this growth star and then pick a sieve as well. So that's... I forgot to move you. What are the chances that he can find food? Or that we could finagle a victory against the mammoth? That doesn't feel very likely. Let's move you one in this direction. Excellent. So that goal's been accomplished. We can pick a civ now. So I cranked up the difficulty versus my previous Let's Play. I forget how far. I didn't go all the way to the top, obviously, but not even second. Maybe the third from the top. Alright, but what's this? I don't remember there being as many of these story events previously. This game has had some updates and more content put in. Like, I know a lot of people were like, oh, this game failed, dead game, but no, it's not true. They still working on it, putting stuff out. So, harsh days, numbers few. So this is for having meeting the population goal. Okay. I don't know about warmth and comfort. We're up in the cold mountains, but that's cool. Valuable materials. Farmers or traders, huh? That would help with some of the food issues we're going to be having. But what does this one do? Money. I don't know. Currency is that lovely universal thing that lets you trade things that you have higher quantities of for things you have lower quantities of. A minute. If pacifism. Just 1 second. I am going to look up this trophy. Humankind. Pacifism trophy. I don't know what it's called. But my thought process is that I distinctly remember it saying you can't train military units. Now, here's someone on Reddit asking about it. Yeah, it's cool. We can. Nah, actually, I'm not going to share Reddit. It's whatever. Okay. Don't recruit units except scouts. Someone's asking about the logic. People are talking about cheating it. But stay in the Neolithic era until you have 10. And then go to war as soon as possible. Yeah, so you get the pacifist thing by rushing to war and killing everyone, and then hey yo, there's no need to fight when everyone else is dead. So yeah, looking your way into military units doesn't hurt you. Although someone is saying that they didn't get the trophy and they didn't recruit any units, they just got some of them through events. And someone's arguing back again. Oh, they're saying they think they know what happened. Special units that fall into the scout category are not scouts. So it's not scout type units, it's the scout unit. It's the only one you're limited to recruiting. But the original question here was, does purchasing units count as recruiting? I don't even remember if there is a purchasing unit system. But it seems relevant to this topic of whether we should or shouldn't be going toward mercantile stuffs. Well, we're going to have to make the call. We're going to have food problems. But do we care? Nah. Money over food. Gonna be eating ramen for a while up in these mountains. Oh no. Let's not next turn without picking a civ. We're definitely interesting though. Like I'm on one of the higher difficulties and I'm only gonna be the second to pick a civ? Or no. 2 people picked a civ. So third's not bad, but we're very average today, it would seem. That's okay, I can be average. I think we can raid the sanctuary in time.
Let's do it.
What? don't know who yelled. That's only 5 food. That's not really going to accomplish anything, is it? Either way, these guys will loop back. They're my scouts. It's a one-time +5, right? Alright, let's figure out settling, then we'll figure out civilization. Mountains are a good choke point. We don't want to settle over here, though, because dead tiles. We can build in that direction and get to the mountains. Well, that'll take a while from over here. Going over there would be a lot of unknowns. But it would tuck us in the mountains more. It's not necessarily bad. Actually, it's another region. So I don't know what settling there would. We just have a 2 production city. Put the city here. Is that low ground versus here, though? And this way. So they can attack from 2 sides. Though that would be an awfully awkward army approach. Settling over here is a no-go. Because I said so. Settling up here, like I said, it's not ideal. But we could work our way toward the mountains. I don't know. I almost feel like we should just go over there, as horrible as it seems. Alright, I think we need to look at the civilizations before we pick the spawn. Because if there's someone who can immediately make use of mountains, I want to know about it. So I remember back in the day, everyone said the AI always takes old mechs first, and that doesn't seem to have changed one bit. But that's okay. I don't think we were going the aesthetic direction. I think we are going to try to lean into the science and alliance. There you go. It's catchy enough that how can we not make a strategy out of it? I just want to know who we're dealing with. People who want to trade is pretty cool. You know, I like people who want to be allies and trade. They're probably nowhere near us if they decided to focus on a naval society, but that's alright. Yeah, we're not going to be too resource heavy. We're going to have to build toward the resources. Boomerangs. Landmark part. I don't know what that means. But I know that we don't have any natural wonders. Fish traps. Must be placed on river. Yeah. I mean, is anyone too surprised that the jungle-looking culture isn't suitable for freezing cold mountains? Probably not. Adjacent empires. If we knew where everybody was, but I mean, that's just some influence. And remember, this might look like a scout unit. Doesn't mean it is. I don't actually know, though. That would allow us to keep doing the Neolithic idea of creating units through stuff on the map, though. Huh. It doesn't feel like a bad idea. I don't know if this qualifies as a military unit. I don't. Well, I guess let's look at some of the other ones, and then we should know what qualifies as a military unit, right? Like this certainly would. Ranged combat unit. And then if we look here, that's just a transport. If we look here, ranged combat unit. And I feel like this is an option. You know, it's a little bit of culture, but you'll definitely be expanding your population. It's not very thematic, but how much do we focus on that? And Karala, it's builder empire. We're going to have the production. Do you like mountains? The old lady healer is a combat unit. So, if we hire any doctors, we're not pacifists. Peaceful, nurturing society. Nope, not pacifism. All right. New districts, faith. Faith sounds like a way to provoke combat and non-pacifism. I think in this game we want to just be like, yeah, okay, we'll do that to, you know, whatever faith sets itself up next door. It's a good way to make an easy ally, right? Yeah. Yeah, no monastery in the mountains for me. People come and steal your gold and your wisdom, right? Cooperative spirit sounds pretty. I like how this one sounds real pacifistic, but in reality, it isn't in the way the achievement wants you to be. So we're not doing that. What does the healer even do, actually? Health regen. I mean, yeah, that helps with combat, so. Alright. Oh, look, a militarist society. I'm sure that's exactly what we need. Some of these scroll, and then other ones. Okay, I thought that one. When I tried to scroll this before, it just flung itself over there. I guess it depends where the mouse cursor is. Fine. Farmer's quarters, probably not going to have too many of those. It's a combat unit. Science per research tech. Counts as research quarter. I think we can do better than that. Industry on tile producing industry. Minus district cost. Now that would be good for quickly getting into the mountains. And just going builder crazy. Can't make the combat unit. But it's expensive anyway, so. A lot of people probably go through the era and can't make the combat unit anyway. So. Industry per makers. I don't know. I feel like we don't want to fully specialize in this. It might be going overboard. Dry grass and river. No, you're useless. Combat society. Nope. Nope. Not for me. Land unit spawn. Blah, 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 blah. More combat. They have good fortresses, sure. But we might need good garrisons at some point, but there are dedicated defensive civilizations later on. Actually, there's one right there. Diplomat. That's what I meant. No luxury, no strategy. Yeah. So what are the Sumerians good at? Treaties and attaching territory. Assuming you're not settling cities all over the place. Yeah. Doable. See, what's the whole thing with leverage? Can you force peace in this game? Getting leverage seems like a good way to do pacifism. You just blackmail people into not attacking you. They're just pretty sciencey. You are a combat unit, but eh. District, combat unit. Here's per adjacent mountain. So this is, I believe, what we were looking for. Are these not limited to one per region, like a lot of... Yeah, no, it is. Okay. So this isn't a science civ here, but... That's the most thematic for what we're doing. Let's look at Nubians. Is it Nubians? No, it's Bantu. You're expansionist. Okay. So, we focus on population and expansion, or do we focus on science? Like, expanding and having a high population is a good way to antagonize. Well, we want to do more with less land. So I do not think we want to be expanding. Unfortunate, because there is a logic here. I'm trying to remember how the population plays into, like, working tiles in this game, and I don't remember. Is it just, you just build tiles? Do you have to pop in them? I don't know. I think it's a bit of both. Let's go for the Confucius school. It's the safe choice. When do I ever pick the safe choice? What's wrong with me today? Alright. So we'll be able to put one school in this region, one school in that region, and then ideally one in this region. Which means we really do need to settle over there. And also, moving here will help us defend our unit. Maybe we even want to be proactive about this defense, you know? Oh, wait a minute. No, that's still 10-10. Uh-oh. Alright, let's not be proactive. And say we were.
Ah, the challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up with the neighbors when they have the wheel and you don't. Humankind learns quickly that everyone contributes. If you're terrified of wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch fish. Tribes settle towns. Towns develop markets. Perhaps you don't really need to focus on markets when you have deep philosophers and dangerous chariots.
Nope, just the philosophers. They have not decided to attack. Perhaps we should decide to attack. No, I mean, I'd rather go build our outpost. Oh, you stopped me from moving? Come on, man. That's rude. So I probably should just put it there. I don't need to go hide in the corner. It's fine. Dude, sketching me out, getting too close, but... Well, he's still pre-living. Is he going to remember it if I attack him? I'm not sure he will. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't met the guy. I don't know. Maybe we should just be in the pacifist spirit and leave the guy alone, though. Also with a little bit of cornering him in. So yeah, there's two ways into this tile instead of one, but compromises do have to be made. These guys are going east, so they can get that.
Over this way.
You can go down this way. Let's figure out what all's going on in this world, yeah. So, you're going to come back here and loop around. Cool, a carcass. Then we got an achievement. Which of these guys should... Nah, he should be the one. That'll be mine. You'll go over there. Unless we need you for the combat that may or may not happen. More of them. Cultural blitz? There is no culture to be blitzed. Alright, how do I get out of here? I'm not even in anything. Okay. It's funky. I would definitely appreciate if he wasn't there.
Time for your first battle? I bet you're absolutely dying to see how your fighters handle themselves.
Get out of the way. Man's over there blockading me. Alright. I guess we're already defending the city due to attacking somebody. He's running away. Fair enough. I don't care. Oh, I can capture his flag, though. He's not running away anymore. What do you mean it's not going to happen? Also, this is high ground, too, so... I guess we should go stand over there. Ring around the rosy. It said I won. His unit is still there. Where's mine? Over here? What? Why did I get bounced? Why am I retreating? You said I won. It doesn't feel like winning.
Come over here.
That didn't go my way, and even though it said it did. This game still got some glitches to it or something, you know what I'm talking about? So I want to build another outpost because I seem to have almost enough. I don't think there's anything to be accomplished by attacking the deer at this point, so we're not going to do that. There's something to be accomplished by picking that up, though.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there's a lot of mountains over there. You can build up right through this mountain range, huh? Will that be my thing? Babylonian. Caroline. That man set off the car alarm. Whoop, whoop.
Come over here.
Fancy. Pacifist warriors. Would anybody like to be introduced to my pacifism?
Off we go.
Kinds of pacifism to show you. Why doesn't that involve the other unit? This game mechanics here I've forgotten. Alright. So I have this region. I would greatly benefit from having that region as well. I could just set up the outpost right there too. Sister cities. No, I think we got to think about the defensibility of our outposts too. It's not quite as critical as the cities, but it's still pretty critical.
Over this way.
A bear. Silver bear. Yeah, there was nowhere better for us to settle, right? Yeah. I mean, there's food down there, but who needs that? We need mountains. So, first order of business here. Well, I mean, realistically, it might be go down here to get that science and horses. So our second outpost, which we're not even earning towards. Kind of awkward. How are we supposed to be earning? I can't even talk. Earning influence. Mountains. Well, maybe we start with the influence train before we spread west. Need to get our mountains together. Where would we place that outpost? I think we need to explore a little more behind these mountains. 'Cause there's not an obvious spot. I'm afraid the elephant does have to die. This guy can't reinforce, but he's stuck. Yeah, that it is exactly where I would like to be, actually. Oh, hey, that's not the high ground anymore. There's an elephant. Start with a defend. And then we go on the attack. Oh, you gained gold from killing the wildlife. Maybe I should have been bullying the deer. Especially this guy's got to earn his keep. That's one slow building outpost. I don't remember what your job was. I mean, you can go bully that guy. I think I'm more interested in figuring out what direction they're coming from, assuming they actually are. I mean, if they're still nomadic, then it doesn't matter what direction they're coming from. They're just there. That's all we need to know. Why don't you go stand over here and gaze over the cliffs? Yes, that is a strategically useful thing to do. We have found that there's some resources over there. So again, we're back to this question. Do we want to be the place that doesn't have stuff worth stealing? Or the people who have all the stuff and are trading it so that they have allies? So those are kind of two directions we can go right now. I feel like there's safety in numbers, but, you know, building alliances based on trade numbers. But also, there's safety in being a lesser target than anyone else. Fortunately, if we do happen to be in the middle of the map, then we're likely to end up in someone's way at some point anyway. Yeah, we doing the Switzerland Let's Play here, aren't we? Oh. Does that mean if we give people open borders, we'll be fine? I'm trying to remember my European history here. Switzerland is neutral, but do they tell people that armies can't go through their land or that they can? I feel like they say no. I'm just basing this off diplomatic logic, not the history that I can't remember, but the first time you let someone's army go through your border to invade someone else, you're suddenly on that country's side just by default. So that's not a great way to maintain neutrality. Yeah. I really want to get rid of this guy on my border. I mean, if we weaken him now, it'll weaken him for the rest of the game. And that's what pacifism's all about. You kneecap someone so that they'll never try to get you in a fair fight later, right? The question is, do we need to guard this? He does have another unit walking around. So maybe we'll just ransack our... No, not ransack our own outpost. Defend it. See, I like how we're going through the logic and justifying the pacifism here, you know? Like, we're not just cheating the game. Merchant. I want a reputation. Perhaps it means I shouldn't be attacking. I think there might actually be a reputation for not attacking. We already attacked, didn't we? Okay. The wildlife's after me. Yeah, we already attacked the guy. That was a mistake, actually, because reputation is a whole system. I forgot about that. Hello, Mr. Bear. You should not have attacked me, Mr. Bear. But I'll take the free gold. Only 10. Stupid bear. And he wasted my turn, too. Time is money, don't you know? I don't like how they're likely to settle right next to me. Not at all. I don't know that I can do much about it right now. No. The horses and the science. I thought they'd be settling right next to me on the east, not the west. Gotta make sure I set up my defensive positions from the right direction. Unless they're just gonna completely surround me, then there's nothing I can do about it.
Let's go.
More mountains. Yeah, you go grab that. Is there anything I can do about that? I feel like I could go be disruptive. It is within my power. You are slowly healing. So that's 10 combat strength. You're 18. Now, there's stuff we can do here. Don't slam the door on your way out. We might be able to disrupt. I don't think we're going to be able to disrupt. We're going to try anyway. I think we're one turn too slow to do that. It's unfortunate. You know, pacifists gotta eat too. I don't know. What's my justification? Well, we want to settle over there in the mountains. Those guys are going to handle that. So this guy's free to be a menace. Those victories aren't gaining us anything, are they? Hopefully not a reputation. Alright. Coming back for more, are you? Cornering yourself down there for some reason, huh? A bold strategy. Oh, they may have abandoned that.
Let's go.
But wait, there's more. There's even more mountains, actually. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go north. We're the people of the Alps now. You know, I don't feel like that's gonna connect anywhere, but we'll check. That's why you check. Okay. Mountain Pass. As soon as that turns into an outpost, I don't know if we're going to start getting influence. But we need to be ready to drop the second outpost. So we need to know where we want to place it. Hello, dear governor. Fancy meeting you here. There's literally nowhere to run. And we appear to be on the high ground. So we'll just continue being on the high ground. Yeah. Maybe we can even get both of his kneecaps. Yeah, pacifism. We're sort of kind of doing it, and then we're justifying that we have the pacifist philosophy, so we must be pacifist. Oh, it's all about intent. Yeah. Being in a tent is 9/10 of the law. And camping. River crossing, yeah. Well, I mean, once you're on the river, do you have to cross it consistently? How does that work? Why don't you loop around the long way? There's an ocean. Yeah, it's the top of the map. And where's the bottom of the map? Now that we know where the top is. Someone might even say that we're in the middle of the map. Well, there's one strategy that's knocked out by circumstance. Not much to be done about it. This actually isn't a very wide map. Yeah, yeah, I put it in 4:3 ratio because I was curious what that would do. We have our answer, I suppose. Merchant. How are people becoming merchants? It's like, how come I don't get to meet any of the great civilizations of the world? They just have these barbarians that wiping them out doesn't count against pacifism because they're not civilized.
By building an outpost, claiming territory is this easy. The trick, of course, is keeping it.
Let's go.
Yeah. The trick, of course, is keeping your outposts.
No mercy!
Pacifism. My horsey land. Alright, we're slowly getting some culture, so we do need to start moving in the direction of... What was it? What are we doing?
It is not just a bunch of buildings. It is warmth, protection, and, praise the gods, a bit of privacy.
Warmth. Do we just start like cranking like out the schools and all that? Doesn't feel like, well, actually it does feel like a good idea. It'll give us a lot of science. Can also destroy something. It can destroy the city. No, let's not destroy our own city. That's not quite the play I'm going for. Ah, you can't place the schools just anywhere. I thought you could. Now that is unfortunate. So we need to build on the barren land before we do anything else. What? Fine. And then we'll build the school over there. Some of these special districts can be put anywhere. Some of them have to be adjacent to the city. So, good to know that is not one of the easy ones. We're going to try to keep that accent in there. Ing. How about Ao? I mean, this is a capital of research, so we might as well get AI in the name, yeah. Seems legit. Man, it does look like a tech bro company name, too. Call it Alpless. Even worse. Let's stop the cringe where it is. You don't need cringe sandwich. We're getting an awful lot of warriors. I think it's going to be time to start merging some of these guys into the city. Get some population out of them. How's the old food economy doing in here? Don't like that. Yeah, that music. They got the mood. What am I supposed to do about that? The city literally can't support anybody. That's a problem for next episode. I have to do something really important. Goodbye.